Hey Lee, is the government shut down?
Well, what time is it?
I'm Aaron Mehta.
And I'm Lee Ferran.
So Lee, there's a couple of things going on
Right now.
Right now, we don't know the status as we record this of the government shutdown. We also don't know what's going to come out of Secretary Pete Hegseth's big meeting with all of the generals.
The generals have been brought to Quantico.
Yeah. So we'll have stories about that on the site, but for the purposes of this video, we're going to just ignore them.
Yeah, let's pretend like they're not happening at all.
That's great. So what else should we talk about? Let's talk about the Air Force.
We should talk about the Air Force and AFA conference last week in Scenic National Harbor.
Indeed, Scenic National Harbor. Obviously, the biggest gathering of the Air and Space Forces each year. It's a big deal. We heard keynote speeches. One thing that was kind of the talk of the show was who's going to be the next Chief of Staff of the Air Force.
This is after General Alvin kind of made a surprise announcement that he wasn't going to continue in the job.
Yeah, so whenever Alvin officially steps down, the expectation now is that he'll be replaced by General Ken Wilsbach, who is former PACAF commander, former ACC commander. He is somebody who we reported had been a front runner early on, but then there was kind of a surprising counter campaign
on social media. It was bizarre.
Yeah. It was bizarre. I've never really seen anything like this. It seemed to be basically saying Wilsbach is DEI and woke, and actually we should, I guess, vote for General Bussier, who is an alternative option that they were putting forth. It's a very strange situation. Right. Very much the talk of AFA. We now have multiple sources who have told my colleague Valor Sin and I that, in fact, Wilsbach is going to be the guy. Everything gets caveated with it's the Trump administration. The president can make his mind up and change it fairly quickly, as we've seen.
That's the best guidance we have as of right now.
That's the best guidance we have as of right now. A little bit of NGAD news also out of AFA.
Right. So there wasn't a ton. This is a very closely held program, but we did learn that NGAD, the F-47, is going to make its first flight in 2028. That's not a huge surprise because when it was originally announced, the idea was to have the first flight before the end of the Trump administration, which will be over in 2028. Right.
So it tracks, but it's good to get a little information on these things.
Got a little something there, yeah.
All right, so when we come back from the break, we're going to talk Turkey.
But put a pin in that, would you? Because it's about a pin. That's the segment. It's about a... Never mind.
At Leonardo DRS, our agility helps bring the ability to dominate in any scenario, on any platform, helping our warfighters accomplish the mission and get home safely. Leonardo DRS, our agility, your advantage.
So Lee, last week, President Trump welcomed President Erdogan of Turkey to the White House. There had been a lot of expectation that there would be some sort of movement on the F-35.
This is after Turkey was kicked out of the F-35 program years ago.
Yes, by the first Trump administration.
Right, been trying to get back in.
Yep. So we thought there might be some movement there. That didn't actually happen, but you did notice something kind of interesting.
Right. So during this conversation, they said they would talk about the F-35 when they were going to talk in private, but we noticed that Trump had a little extra bling on his lapel. He had an American flag pin, which he usually wears, and then a golden fighter jet. And we weren't sure quite what to make of that. And when we were first looking at it, we couldn't quite see well enough.
Right, but it makes sense it would be the F-35, of course.
Right, because maybe he's sending a signal about whatever's going to happen. Luckily, Getty photographers were there, got a real close-up there, and it's an F-22 of all things, which was confusing to us for a little bit. So we asked the White House for clarity, and they said, yeah, it's an F-22, but that's all they said. But we thought it was interesting, the F-22 is not internationally sold, so that's not,
it's not on the table.
Right.
Look, the F-22 was never supposed to be exported. There was only a limited run. Right. Despite some pushes to restart the F-22 line, much to my chagrin, it is not coming back.
Right. So we're unclear what exactly that meant, if that was meant to be anything. We should say that Trump wore the pin the rest of the day and into the next day. So maybe it had nothing to do with Turkey at all, but we're definitely waiting to see if there's any movement on the F-35. In the meantime, Turkey is developing its own fifth-generation fighter, the Khan, kind of as, it seems like a hedge, that we'll build our own plane if we
Yeah, this is something they were talking about. They were starting on when they were still in the F-35, but it's taken on greater emphasis since they left the program.
And there's one issue that the Turkish foreign minister mentioned just on social media a few days ago. They don't have the GE engines for them, that they've been blocked by the American Congress from getting the engines they need for the Khan.
And this is an older issue going back in some ways to the F-35, the reason they were kicked out and some sanctions there. But obviously Turkey wants these engines. They want to have a homegrown engine and eventually fly it by 2032. But in the meantime, they need something to put on the Khan and help as they're working on developing it. So Turkish-American relations on the defense industrial side seem pretty much what they've been recently. But again, from President Trump's statements, it seems that there's some hope, at least, that the F-35 will begin moving again in the future. Obviously, any more news that comes out of Turkey, whether about the F-35 or the Khan, we'll keep eyes on at breakingdefense.com. And you can, of course, go to breakingdefense.com to sign up for the breakout to get it delivered directly to you each week.
Remember to like and subscribe, and also we're on podcasts. Go to your favorite podcasting platform and find us there.
I'm Aaron Mehta.
And I'm Ferran.
Thanks for watching.